Hello everyone, welcome in. Are you ready for your Bad Apple review? Today we're taking a look at the movie A Different Man. This movie is rated R, it's a thriller drama, and there's some intense moments. Along with nudity, there is blood, a little bit of violence, and also deep disturbing moments that go along with body horror and transformational change. So just be ready and aware of that. Know what you're walking into. This is definitely a movie that you want to have watched the trailer. You're not going to lose that much through watching the trailer and going into the movie. And then you know, okay, I liked this trailer. I'm prepared for what I'm going to see in the theater. This movie's 1 hour and 52 minutes. It's almost at the point of being just a little bit too long. That being said, though, it entertained and kept my attention throughout. We get introduced to the character of Edward right away, played by Sebastian Stan. Edward is suffering from a condition that causes a severe facial deformity. This causes him to really be withdrawn and more of a recluse. He places blame of this on his deformity, and then our plot unfolds. Edward is introduced to Ingrid as he's returning home one day. She's moving into the apartment right next door. Ingrid is an aspiring film writer, and she takes an interest in Edward right away. At first, she is taken back by his appearance, but soon warms up to his charm. Ingrid is played by Renate Reinsver, and she is a very bubbly, vivacious, outgoing extrovert that really dominates conversation, but puts people at ease. So she's one that is really able to pull Edward out of his shell and see who's behind this persona, this mask that he hides behind, even more in a way that is metaphorical than the actual physical deformity because of his condition. Ingrid is able to make Edward, for the first time, really feel seen. So we have Edward, who's an aspiring actor, and we have Ingrid, who is an aspiring film writer. She is already preparing to write a script specifically for Edward. She sees the potential in him. She has an interest in him. She truly does care for Edward. We get to unfold some of the layers of the dynamic of their relationship as their first meeting, and there is a good amount of depth put into that development for each character. Ingrid quickly becomes a love interest for Edward, and after being presented with a possible cure for his condition, and not just that, but a fix that might be able to make him look quote unquote normal, he signs up to be part of the case study. There's no issues with the acting here. You feel for each character, and I think that what they're trying to get across is really displayed to the audience. This movie feels like it was made in the 80s. The film feels like it's from the 80s. The picture quality feels like it's from the 80s, and that's not a bad thing. There's no negatives to say about that other than I wanted it to be set in the 80s. It made me, as the audience goer, feel like this is back in time, 80s, 90s, somewhere pre-2000 era. Now, they make mention in passing quickly of Lady Gaga, which I relate right away to current day. So I wish that there wasn't that connection, because everything else in the film, the costumes, just the mannerisms, the locations that they're shooting did not give me the feel of present day. So I wish that I was able, as an audience member, to just make that determination on my own. It does not really matter that much for the flow of the story. Aaron Schimberg is the director, and he's really bringing to life some very jam-packed characters, very over-the-top characters, but you're not getting it shoved down your throat as an audience member. I do feel like lately there's been characters that have been so flamboyant, so over the top, and you just can't escape from that and see them as anything but that. There's a lot of depth to all of these characters, and there's unpacking that you can see happening throughout the movie as well. And I enjoy that, and that's not something that's easily captured, as well as just beautifully put together in a horror, thriller, drama genre film. So it takes a lot of depth to get that and to get that from the audience. So I do see him as being a really up and coming director, and I'm hoping that this gets him his flowers, his snaps. Adam Pearson's character is Oswald, and he really is a shining light in this film. He is disfigured in real life, and you see that deformity in your face, center stage. There's no hiding this. Now, that being said, his brilliance shines through. We really do see such wonderful depth to this character, and he steps up. He shines bright. He's over the top performance here. He's meant to be that, but it just makes you feel as the audience member alive. You feel alive, and he makes you feel vivacious, and he's intoxicating almost. His presence on stage is intoxicating. He does a phenomenal job of being that character in the film and really portraying what is meant to come through to Edward and everything that he wanted to be, and thinking that it's going to become his life because he's fixed what he thought was broken on the exterior, when really he has to really go within and self-reflect on what needs help within him that's causing him to feel like he's not good enough, he's not worthy, and like he wants to hide from the world. We really do feel that Edward is not comfortable in his own skin, that he's wanting to be something different, that he's wanting to lay to rest the person that he was, this person that he doesn't see as confident, outgoing, someone that's vivacious, someone that could never be these things. At least in his mind, he believes he could never be these things because of his condition. And he keeps himself sheltered due to that fact. So now that he's undergoing this process of possibly healing himself, fixing himself, being healed, it's really triggering a whole depth of emotions that he's never felt before. And we in the audience get to watch those feelings, emotions pour to the surface. You do feel that you are right along there with him, going through this transformational time in his life. Edward comes out the other side of his transformation not being recognizable to anyone that knew him before. So he's ready to start fresh, start new as a new version of himself. This is a spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to get into any further details, but there is the then deep dive of Edward having to struggle with a character coming into his life that suffers from a deformity condition that he had previously. And the internal struggle is more from a perspective and point of view of not having to deal with this exterior deformity, but more so the fact that this other individual is confident, is able to get up every day and be motivated, encouraged, positive, has a friend group, has people that truly are in his life for him. It's difficult for Edward because he feels as though it was the external that was keeping him from being the man he wanted to be. Instead, now he's face to face with the fact that it had something more to do with just his deformity, with just his condition. Instead, it's the internal that he's faced with, having to take a look at in the mirror and look deeper and see that it was within him all along to be a different man. He's faced with the timeless adage of it's what's on the inside that matters and not what's on the outside. It's what's inside that counts. All in all, this movie is entertaining. It is something different. It's not just a movie that was made, rinsed, repeat, and pushed back out to the public. I think that this is something that people will enjoy if it's something that you want to go see. Do not just go in blind to this movie. Be prepared and know what you're getting yourself into. Once you're there, I think you will feel all of the feels, along with bursts of laughter and relating to your own life, makes you as the audience member reflect on your own journey and how you have been as a person. And even then, digging a little bit deeper to knowing your self-worth from the inside out. So would I see this in the theater? If it's a specific one that you have the intention of going to see, then yes, I think it's one that's worth seeing in the theater. It entertains, it's something different. It's just not a rinse and repeat movie. This is something new and unexpected, and it does a great job at entertaining and mixing in some dark humor that makes the audience really reflect on yourself as well. So I think if it's one that you are excited to go see and have a piqued interest, then yes, this is right up your alley. For everyone else, it's worth a watch when it's on TV at home. It's a really good watch for anyone that is interested after seeing what the R rating is for. If this isn't your cup of tea, don't put yourself through it. There are some intense moments that really make you internalize and self-reflect. That being said, it entertains, there's humor, and all in all, it is a good movie. The third act does fall a little bit short for me, as I do believe most of the general audience will feel the same. But that being said, it really doesn't take away from the movie as a whole and the message that they're trying to get across. So everybody, let me know. Did you see this one? I want to hear your thoughts below. I am intrigued to see what everyone else is thinking about this one. Comment below, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ba 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 da ba ba. Put your lips together and blow.